Ooh, look at that there, people. That's some fat back, aka some pork back, aka some pork belly. Look, there's a guy coming, and I tell you one thing. I don't even know him. I don't know his name. I think I learned his date of birth. We got his ticket. He's been a huge supporter. I was in Denver and I said, you know what? When I get back, I'm gonna buy you a ticket. Come out and hang out with us. All right, man? So tomorrow he gets here, 9 o'clock. 72 hours of pure chaos. Stay tuned, people. Feeding time's coming. But I don't even know the kid's last name. Take care of your dogs. Guys, for one, thank you so much for watching the wolf video. My God, it was a pleasure. You ever go somewhere and you say, man, I'm so glad I'm here. You get into a room and you thank whoever you were around for even bringing that opportunity about. I was asked to go and do some shooting. If you don't know, I've shot the ABKC National amongst other great businesses, companies, and basically a friend, someone that I've met via social media and actually owned one of my dogs 10 years ago, the irony, I tell you. They said, hey, would you mind coming out and getting some footage of my dog? And I said, you know, as long as I can see the wolves. I looked up what was in the area. If I charge people what it costs for me to leave my house, you don't want to pay that price, but an experience is priceless. That's the beauty about it. An experience to educate, to teach, to have some fun, shed some light. I mean, that's priceless. So, as long as I can come and see the wolves, then absolutely. So, we're going to do a little feeding time. If you heard what the woman who's been saving wolves for 30 years said, some of those wolves live up to 17, and one of the oldest that lived in her captivity, we say captivity, it's a good thing in this case, that joker lived to 20 years old. And guess what? It never ate dog food. The irony, I tell you. Now they're putting wolves on bags of dog food, but guess what? I was there, and you know what's crazy? Is the thing they sell you for $450 is feeding time. And here you are about to watch it for free. I looked up, so check this out. You pay 50 bucks for a tour. And I got there and I seen this couple, like it was petting the wolf and they was touching the wolf, and I think they gave it a couple things of food. I go, that's what I want to do. So I'm in this tour with about 17 people. I'm like, yo, I must be in the wrong spot. I wanted to go see the wolves. And they like this. Sir, you didn't, that's not what you bought. I said, well, why you didn't tell me? Well, it's $450. Get this. The wolves already ate. So you're at the last part of the tour, which means they might not even eat. But this is the last time in which we feed the wolves, which was what? Right at that 5 or 6 o'clock time frame. And I saw with my own 2 good eyes, and I didn't record every interaction with all the wolves. I saw my own 2 eyes. Not only did some of them not even come down, so you got the heel, they come down, and they throws the meat over there. Some of the wolves didn't even come down. They're like, oh, I already ate. Why? Because they gave them 5 pounds of food that morning. But isn't that crazy? They gonna sell you $400.50. Not playing, it ain't 50 cents. But it's $450, true story. For you to, for 2 people to feed. Look, you get to feed the wolves, you get to take pictures with the whole staff, you get to do some other stuff. Like, I don't care about that, I just want to get in there and touch the wolf. Feed the wolf, that's all I want to do. And, but mind you, if all the wolves or the wolf ambassadors, meaning like the wolves are like, hey, we're good. They don't want to be, they already ate. They just like, oh, we can't, don't care. You don't care if you gave them $1,000. They like the wolves, they're not interested right now. And you have to respect the animal. Because when you don't want to participate or play, you better go about your business. So the irony of how important feeding time is and how interesting it is, I was in a tour with literally 7 to 10 people. There was a family there, there were kids there, and the thing that they market is feeding time, which lets us know even as humans. The most important part of taking care of ourselves is what we put in our body. The most entertaining part of feeding the animal is what they put in their bodies. And I got to watch them store a couple things out there. The wolves enjoy themselves, but I clearly missed the great feeding time because I wanted to feed the wolf my damn self. And I didn't get to. So guess what? Because you've paid for the tour, now you can come back for $350. If you want to bring an extra friend, which we're going to attempt to bring Jamarcus in under 100 days, it's an extra $150. I'm like, okay, that's all I got to pay so we can all go back and feed these damn wolves. I'll be back. I'll be looking at tickets. Once we go into our next spot, I'm buying a ticket immediately so we can go see these wolves. That's the gist of it. I'm going to feed these wolves. I'm going to touch feed and get pictures, videos with these doggone wolves and ask even more questions. But I can't thank her enough for, I don't want to say justifying, because I've been doing this for 10, 15 years, people. I'm not like, I'm not ignorant to the importance of good food and the impact of it. But I appreciate the 30 years of love, the 30 years of commitment, the 30 years of appreciation for the wolf, the 30 years of fighting, the 30 years of truth and honesty, the 30 years of her work, and giving me a few moments of insight so that I could share some information with you so that we could all be better. If our dogs are descendants of wolves, then it's imperative that they eat like-minded food. And I repeat, there was no wolf out there eating wolf food. It was just raw food, aka no dog food. So, guys, I appreciate you. And even I learned the importance of the hide cleaning the teeth. See, we thought it was just a turkey neck, or this is a turkey wing, or a chicken leg. I got a duck leg here. I got a chicken leg. You hear the dogs, the babies, they're ready to eat. You should go, wow. Even the hide cleans the teeth. Fascinating. And now she's got to know better than anybody. I saw a 14-year-old wolf. That joker was hurting, boy. He got up like this. He like that. And they tried to give him some food. He said, I guess I'll get up and get this food. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every last second of it, because it just makes you want to go a little bit harder for your dogs, learn a little bit more, and continue to do better. So, feeding time, Bam Bam, Cha-Cha, Eco, and my man Tron, who's coming right along. Now, mind you, first thing I do is I cut and make sure all the juices get into the bowl. I don't spare anything, and make sure the dogs get all the stuff that they need. Now, Tron's not going to necessarily eat all of that right there. I'm actually going to give hair of the duck legs. Duck legs got a little bit more fat in it. Let me see here. Y'all hear that? With the chicken breast, I'll cut a package here, put one there, put one there, put one there. Now, Tron, as we know, is on a different mission, so I'm gonna give him about 1 pound of this turkey in general, because I want to double up on his bone tonight. Now, I've heard Jamarcus basically told me that some people are concerned about how much protein the dogs get. Now, in the bodybuilding world, they say, hey man, that dude's eating too much protein. And his mind like, hey, you got as many muscles as that dude? No, we don't. Not me either. So here's perspective. Too much bone, poop comes out white, you can create calcification, etc., etc. Too much what? Protein, even for ourselves, it normally converts into other forms of energy. What does that other energy look like? Well, one of the energy sources, I'll only put that in last because it always cuts my doggone gloves. But one of the energy sources is fat. What does fat do? So if you eat too much protein, a lot of times it converts to fat. When it converts to fat, what ends up happening? It's got more energy. In a dog's case, for us, it might get clogged arteries, depending on if it's saturated, unsaturated, polysaturated, if it's a triglyceride. I mean, you go down the line. I mean, triglyceride technique fat. you go down the line, you say, hey, I don't know if that's the best bet. Don't forget, when you are feeding your chicken breasts, or what I like to call them at times, chicken titties, you want to make sure that you chop them in half, people. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if it was Eco, it was probably the great Bambino, aka Bam Bam, who struggled one night as he tried to swallow a chicken breast whole. And I tell you this, the dog threw up so much, at some point he gave up on the chicken breast. He said, and he was hurting, right? And when he was hurting, he couldn't breathe. And when he couldn't breathe, he said, all right, I give up. I give up. And I remember that last pile of throw up, as I'm trying to figure out, and mind you, I didn't even know what was going on. I saw the last pile of throw up, I go, bro, what are you doing? And he just looked at that foam and that chicken breast and said, man, come get this stuff out of here. So I put him in another cage, let his little heart rate calm down, had to clean it up clearly. And then I turned around and I said, well, now we know that when you get a breast like this, in the dog's mind, he can swallow it like a seal. In reality, he'll swallow it and it gets stuck. I almost cut myself. That's what I'm saying. This thing flipped over. Uh-oh. That's all she wrote. So, is too much protein a thing? Too much red meat supposedly leads to increasing risk of what? Pancreatic cancer. But that's in humans. A dog's ability to process saturated fat and ours, very two different things. Dogs don't store glycogen for energy. They store what? Fat for energy. So I can't say, especially when you're talking about some chicken breasts. I mean, think about it like this. I have very active dogs too, people. You hear that right there? That's activity. Who else dog you know back singing like that? I mean, they are grunting, moaning. They're not hostile or angry, but they ready to eat because they do so much for me, and I do so much for them. But objectively, when you look at this, I think it might be on here. Oh yeah, so this has 1 gram of fat, which means it's pure protein. Goal is to make sure that my dogs look like they pure protein. They say, man, what's protein associated with? Muscle. But to get the muscles up. So now that they have the muscles, I make sure they have plenty of protein. Plenty of protein. So, guys, we're going to keep taking care of our dogs. Some people will tell you don't use the olive oil. I have no problem with olive oil. It is a fat that's not unhealthy to us. Olives will not kill dogs. Grapes will, to be clear, will kill them. Is it a part of the family? Not to my knowledge. But it could be. I could be wrong. I'm tired. Point is, what do fat do? They also help slow down the digestive process to make sure the dogs objectively absorb and utilize all the nutrition that they need. So tonight's meal is boom, 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 bam, bam, boom, bang. Because the point of this video was to thank you all for one, watching Feeding Time, taking care of your dogs, and even more importantly, enjoying our process as we continue to have fun. Now, stay tuned because we got a little young cat coming to visit, like I said, and I literally don't know him. I don't know how tall. I don't know anything. What I have is what I think some people have at times, and that's just a good feeling. Good feeling that if there was a person who was going to potentially open his eyes and give him a chance to do a little bit more and be a little bit better, I'm one of those people, and I wish I met me when I was his age. I wish I met a few people I've met when I was younger. Time has come. The time is gone, to say the least. So if I can be of service to people I believe in, or if I see on the right path, once you got me in your corner, man, it's like having Gus got a motto in your corner, man. He said, man, I can go be Tyson, man, but I ain't got to be so ruthless. Diplomacy's king. Stay tuned. Take care of your dogs. Thank you for watching, people. Again, make sure the dogs are getting plenty of water. Water keeps you in an anabolic state. Water for us is cut off after 6. I make sure the dog gets some omega-3. Sardines are one of my favorite. And every meal just about, or at least 3 times a week. Outside of that, I combine 2 proteins, and then I add a bunch of mixed components to ensure that the dogs maximize their micronutrition, especially over the first 2 years. We'll talk about this more at another time. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, T-Fit here, Fit Bully TV. Take care of your dogs.